War Eagle, War Report family, I'm your host, C-Dub, and today we discuss Auburn's victory over Yale, the SEC championship, the college football playoffs, and of course, we have a lot of news to discuss in terms of the offensive coordinator search, as well as what we saw on yesterday. So, guys, we have a great show lined up for you. Sit back, get your weight up, because your weekend tailgate starts right now.
You are now listening to a War Report Weekend Tailgate, brought to you by University Ace Hardware. It's your boy, I John. Be Will, C-Dog, Mike G. Get ready, sit on back as we bring you the War Report Weekend Tailgate.
War Eagle, everyone. War Eagle, happy Sunday. Thanks for joining us with the latest weekend tailgate brought to you by our good friends at University Ace Hardware. Always remember, for your hardware needs, Ace is the place for you. And if you happen to be in the Auburn area, please stop by 2101 East University Drive. Drop in and let them know that your good friends at the War Report sent you. Also, shout out to our War Report family that's ever growing. Help us to continue to grow by sharing this video, whether you're watching live or on replay. Share it on social media. Please be sure to use hashtag Get Your Weight Up. Help people find us, and let's help grow this community even more. Now, Mike G, it's the off season, but people still need to become something. What is that, sir?
Yeah, listen, become an insider. You guys know what this means. Not inside information. I mean, we got some of that, but that's not what being an insider is. And being an insider is about joining a very special community of people who engage in Auburn content in a very unique way. We're going to be active January to July. Become an insider to get access to that content. You know, we're starting to delve into basketball. You guys don't want to miss this basketball content. Ike's got some special stuff coming up here. So as we transition out of football and into basketball season, we'll be covering basketball as well as recruiting, and we got an OC search going on here. So we got something special planned for our insiders as things come to fruition. So become an insider to get access to that. Listen, we are partnered with the Lee County Humane Society. You guys know the deal. We want to save all the puppies. You can find this link in the About section of our YouTube channel. 50 cents on every dollar goes to the Lee County Humane Society to help them in their mission to save all the puppies. Now, this is a weekly tradition. We're giving away an AAU t-shirt. This is brought to you by our guy Walt Taylor at GWT2 Energy Consulting Services. So, hashtag Get Your Weight Up in the comments to enter the drawing. We're going to pull at the 1 hour mark. Make sure you check that spelling so that you get entered. If you don't win the t-shirt, you can buy one. This is a great way to support our content. You can also find this link in the About section of our YouTube channel. And last but not least, shout out to our sponsor, BUSR. Visit busr.com/report. Sign up for an account. We're dropping, betting tidbits here and there. Whether you place one bet a year or 10 bets a day, signing up for an account helps us. You can support us by supporting our sponsors. That's BUSR, busr.com/report to help us out. I know I said last but not least, but actually last is podcast. We are on podcast, people, everywhere. So go over to Apple, Spotify, Podbean, SoundCloud. Check us out on podcasts. We're bringing you the Wednesday Night War Room in podcast form every week. And we'll be adding more content to our podcast schedule here as the weeks go by. So watch out for that.
Awesome. Well, let's get into it. We don't have a graphic for it, but we tweeted out this morning about Auburn basketball. Auburn played Yale. I know a lot was made of yesterday with the SEC championship game. There's a lot of conference championships on yesterday, but Auburn took the hardwood yesterday against Yale at home and was victorious. And we voted this morning, or you guys voted, on who the player of the game was. That person happens to be KD Johnson. He had the game high, team high of 19 points, had another great game. There's a few people who also had great numbers. We'll go through that in a minute, but let's just talk real quick about KD Johnson. Ike, you the basketball guy. What did you see yesterday when it comes to KD Johnson and the type of game he had?
Yeah, I'm actually going to talk about KD Johnson. I'm probably going to do a whole content piece on him. Just as we have gotten into the season, he has been just a spark plug for the team. He didn't start off as the starting guard. Wendell Green was handling that duty the beginning of the season, but KD Johnson was coming off of the bench, giving us quality minutes and scoring. I think with Zeb Jasper being more of the facilitator, being kind of the guy who was able to get out there and get everybody else involved, we needed more scoring in the backcourt, and he's provided that, man. He's got great energy. He's a great on the ball defender. He's a shot creator, right? Like he doesn't have to like just spot up to be able to get shots, and just his energy harassing the point guard position as they're bringing the ball up floor, man, it gets us into our defense in a different rhythm. And again, offensively, he's just aggressive. So that's been every game. Like I could literally say that about every single game KD Johnson has come in. I can repeat the same spiel. So I'm going to probably do like a little video on what's made him so effective so far this season coming up soon. But yeah, I like what I'm seeing from him. I like what I'm seeing from the team.
Yeah, you know what? When we started talking basketball, I had made a comment about KD Johnson's game, and I had said, he's the high energy guy. And as I've watched more Auburn basketball, man, this kid has really grown on me. He is like he's an emotional leader on the floor as well, too.
Right.
Like he just brings a certain energy to the game, and watching him has been really fun. I didn't really, he's high energy, but he's actually a much better 3-point shooter than I thought he was. And I'm talking about step backs in people's faces.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so this team is going to be really fun to watch this year. It's one thing to go toe-to-toe with good teams, but it's something special about watching your team blow out bad teams as well, too. And they just really kind of dominated that game from start to finish. There was not in question.
Right.
And then put the backups in for what felt like the last 4 to 5 minutes of that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what really got us going in that game, unlike really like most of the games, defensively early, we were able to do some things. It was the shot blocking though. Like, man, they just
14 shot blocks.
Let's
Yale
get
could
into it.
not get shots on the rim, bro. It was crazy.
Let's talk about the numbers. Let's talk about the numbers as we break this game down even further. Here are some stats that you need to know. As we alluded to, AU jumped out to an 11-0 lead and never looked back on Yale. They recorded a total of 14 block shots. Auburn had 5 players to score in the double digits. Those players being Jabari Smith, who put in 17 and 7. You had Cambridge, who had 10 points. Jasper had 10. And filling in for Walker Kessler, who sustained a bit of an injury in the first half, Dylan Cartwell put in 10, 6 rebounds, and 3 blocks as well. So
Cardwell played well last night.
He did.
Well, yesterday evening. I liked how he played. He's another energy guy, but yeah, sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
No. All good. The bench, and I think this speaks to Auburn's depth. Of course, Cardwell being a part of the bench in this regard outscored Yale's bench 30-20, and that number actually is not really that close when you consider Auburn really put the walk-ons in towards the end of the game, like people who usually rarely ever see any gameplay. So Auburn so far is 7-1 on the season as we begin the December stretch with basketball. So what was impressive to me was with Bruce, this is one of the first few years we're seeing like guys this tall in our front court. Like usually in the past, we would look like Yale. We would have a bunch of small guys playing, small ball, but we have guys with length and range, and they can actually guard the perimeter. And they were chasing Yale, who's known for shooting threes, playing the perimeter game. They were chasing them off of the 3-point line, leading to the block party early on. I think Auburn, like the first 6-7 shots, Yale took. Auburn blocked like 6 of them, 5 or 6 of them, something ridiculous like that. So what are your thoughts about how special this team could be defensively especially getting into SEC play?
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. those same big guys that you're talking about, they are good at chasing guys off the 3-point line because they have that length. They're not great at keeping them out of the paint, though, if they have to face up and play defense, right? So really good energy and closeout stuff. What we have to work on, because we are really good at anticipating passing lanes and getting steals, really good at the block shots, really good at strips. What we're not good at, surprisingly, though, is just defending off the ball cuts, right? Like, so if you notice, we were getting backdoored a lot in that game. We're good and aggressive when we're coming to trap and we're coming to defend out high. But when it's an off the ball situation and it's not anticipating a passing lane, losing your man in the half court has been something that has been a problem for Auburn in the half court. The other issue that we're going to go against, which I think just looking at the teams that we'd have to play in the SEC, Arkansas and LSU may be a problem with this, is defending the post. We are good on drives to the post and defending coming, help defense, but just one-on-one defense in the post has not been great. And so we have to work on that, I think, a little bit more. But I like the energy that we bring on defense. When Bruce Pearl goes to this, he goes to a zone look, right? But he'll have somebody like Jabari out top on the zone. Like normally you'll have like a point guard or a guard at the top of your zone when you're playing like a 1-3-1 or a 1-2-2 trapping zone.
Right.
He's using a big man at the top because again, they have the good lateral quickness to be able to chase down stuff. It's a really disruptive zone, and it's an interesting look for him to go to. So, going in SEC play, because we can be so multiple, we can go full court or quarter court, three-quarter court and pick up deep, or we can play in the half court and be disruptive. I think we have an opportunity to beat just about anybody. Yes, that includes, I saw the Bama fan who's in here talking about Bama beating Gonzaga last night, which is impressive. Bama's a good perimeter team, right? But we do a good job of chasing guys off the 3-point shot. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays. The game that we lost was to UConn, and UConn essentially beat us down low and then kicking out, right?
Yeah.
Their post guy was killing us and then able to kick out of that. Again, losing your guy when it's not focused on the ball. Way more than you ask for. But again, you could tell, I know basketball is where I get down.
A question I had, Ike, is like the backdoor cuts. We know that's that Princeton style of basketball, looking for that. Do you think that's kind of a byproduct of Auburn being aggressive on defense, that we tend to lose guys who make backdoor cuts?
It absolutely is. It's being a little too aggressive and wanting to come and trap the ball, but not doing it with your hands ready to make sure that if your guy is cutting, you're able to defend a pass off of it. Seeing the man and seeing the ball is just basic principles of defense. We have been caught not seeing the man and the ball a little too often. So,
listen, can I ask a question? So we're now going to have our third one and done, we're assuming.
He looks good.
Isaac Okoro, Sharif Cooper, and now Jabari Smith. Is Jabari Smith the best one yet?
And JT Thor actually, I think, was a one and done too. So.
He was. Yeah, is Jabari Smith going to be the best of all these guys? I mean,
I personally think that he's the most well-rounded. He has some. I mean, he's still very raw though. Like he takes some shots he probably shouldn't, and defensively he probably leaves his feet a little too often going for the block. But man, if he keeps getting better, but just because he came in, I think with the higher floor, and he has the higher ceiling, he has the potential to be an amazing basketball player because he's got all of this. Like, he can handle the ball, he can shoot the ball easily from three. It's not like one of those. I saw somebody mention Stretch in the game. I don't want to mess his name up, but they call him Stretch. Taking these walk-up threes, right? Like when he got in the game, he just kept jacking up three-pointers. And it's clear. It's like he might make one or two three-pointers, but he's not a three-point shooter. No, Jabari Smith can actually shoot the ball, right? Yeah. And so because his game is so well-rounded offensively. Akinbola, yes, please. I didn't want to mess his name up, but
I had to read it.
Because Jabari can actually shoot, right? Like that turnaround shot that he takes from about 10 to 15 always looks really good when he takes it. He can basically get that shot whenever he wants to. He's got a lot of stuff that translates really well to the NBA game because of how the stretch four is becoming so
Right.
prolific in basketball right now.
Right.
So yeah, he does have the potential to be my favorite basketball player from Auburn of recent years, though he wasn't a one and done, was Chuma Okeke, man. Chuma Okeke was like, before he got hurt, bro.
He came on really strong in the
And I would
tournament.
argue if he doesn't get hurt in that Sweet 16,
we walk away.
We walk away with
We
that
walk
championship
away.
that year.
He was really special, man. On both ends of the floor, he could defend really well. He was a solid shot maker. Man, he's been my favorite basketball player for Auburn probably over the last 6 or 7 years.
So that's a
Yeah,
good
for
pick.
sure. For sure. Well, Auburn takes a break for a while until next Saturday. I think they're going to be in Atlanta for like a holiday tournament. They face off against Nebraska, so that will be the next time we'll see Auburn take the court again, and so we'll definitely be covering that game. So, guys, stay tuned for our breakdown and analysis. Let's get to some super chats. People in the comment section, appreciate you guys for hanging out with us. Jonathan. If I butcher your name, forgive me. Finizzi?
Finizzi.
First time
I know
live.
somebody else with that last name. That's the only reason I know how to pronounce it.
I'm glad you're here, Ike, because I definitely did not. First time live, long time recording watcher, though. Amazing stuff, y'all. Joe Brady is a must. And we also had someone else says, does Joe Brady being fired stalls an OC hire for now?
Now I've been quiet on this OC search
Also,
for the most
Jazzy
part.
Joe,
Jesse Jones.
appreciate
what
you,
it do,
man. Good to have you as always. Go ahead, Mike.
I've been quiet on this OC search. Everyone's been asking me like, who's your guy? And I have to date just been like, I just think Harsin needs to go out and get his guy at this point. Don't ask me that question. I don't care. I'm starting to feel like Bobo was not Harsin's guy, right? And there were other reasons that he got hired, and so he was the first one out the door. Was the guy that wasn't his guy when it all fell apart. So,
Well, second technically because mid-season.
Right. Yeah, but also a guy who we, are being told got hired for recruiting reasons
Right.
in the state of Alabama, and not
Right.
necessarily because that was Harsin's guy. So,
Right.
now that we got more clarity into how they were looking, it was clear that he wanted to pick somebody from the coaching tree or that he knew well that can probably come in and run his vision of offense. So we watched Zach Kitley in the conference championship game, and that quarterback threw for like almost 600 yards or something crazy, right?
They can score in bunches.
Oh, man. And then Zach Hill out of Arizona State, now there's some speculation that his potential hire may be held up by things that the NCAA is checking into. But now Joe Brady coming in to the picture is actually something. I hope that there's fluidity enough for them to pivot with this, because I think this would be a home run hire for this team where they're at based on what our issues were. 100%. Passing game coordinator that knows the SEC. He's 1 year removed and can come in here and probably do a 2 years. Is it 2
actually.
years? Yeah. Okay. He left
Yeah,
after 2019, right? Yeah. So, man, I don't know, guys. Like, I would not be anybody Harsin hires that's currently on the list. I saw Damian Craig's name on there. I'm not crazy about that. I like Damian Craig, but I'm not crazy about that
I'm
for
not crazy
this
about it
coach.
either.
Yeah, based on what I think he wants to do. But Joe Brady, I think, would be a really good fit based on what Ike broke down last December about Harsin's multiple offense. I think he would be a great fit. And, sometimes getting the right coach is about luck.
Yeah,
And a guy,
it's mostly about luck.
it
Honestly,
just happens to get fired right when you're looking for a coach. Man, come on, dude. I don't think he could go wrong. And for the people clamoring for him to go get a big name or whatever, here's your big name. Hire him and shut up. I don't know, man. It irks me, man. People have just been like, why can't we go get this person and that person? I'm like, do you guys think that everybody just wants to come be OC at Auburn?
right.
It's not
That,
that.
so that's my thing. And me and C were talking about this before we got on. I'm just like, y'all are throwing names out there like we could just get whoever we want to. Oh, I'll take such and such. It's like, they have to actually want this job. It's not a thing where you just get to grab somebody out of the hat and you pick the person who's the best. You pick the best of who you can get. Right. You don't just get to pick whoever you want to. And they're like, oh, okay, you want me to come? Oh, all right, well. But no, you pay whatever you have to get the guy you need. You have to sometimes above your budget.
You just think about your job, where you work right now. You think about the lateral moves. If you're where you are and you actually are happy, what's the likelihood you leave to do the same thing elsewhere if you're in a good space? Like that does not happen unless a person is moving up, right? So I just think, and even if that person does make a lateral move, how long do they stay here? Again, we need stability in this offense and on this side. Yeah. We don't need a coordinator to be here a year and then they're off again and then we're back to where we are.
Right.
That's what happened to LSU, and look what happened to their offense.
Yep. They had 2 great coaches for coordinators, and that was the entire game. Because as soon as those guys left, it fell apart. So
yeah.
You need some continuity, man. Yeah. Like I even get this guy, but even if he comes to Auburn, let's say he comes to Auburn, realistically, how long does he stay?
A year, maybe 2.
I mean, but again, get that guy and let him get your weight up for 2 years. Right, and then go out and recruit. I mean, this is just something we're going to have to deal with if we're going to be good. You're going to be rehiring coordinators every few years if you're having success. So
that's true. That's true.
A guy like Joe Brady, who's just coming off of an ego check, might actually stick around with you a little bit longer than he would
now.
Have
that's a good point. That's a good point.
Under other circumstances, he went to the NFL and got ego checked just a little bit. But he still really, really understands the college game. Some guys just aren't a good fit at the next level.
Right? Okay, well, here's the thing is he came from the next level. He was with the Saints before he went to LSU. He had, honestly, Sam Darnold's a bad quarterback.
He wasn't an OC, though.
He wasn't an OC, but he was in pro locker rooms planning offense and analyzing offense. So I think LSU was a step down. It's like, all right, well, I'll do a little. He wasn't even the OC at LSU.
Right.
He really took a lateral move from the Saints where he was at in that staff to LSU and just had a bomb season. You talking about luck? Having Joe Burrow and that group of wide receivers was lucky for Joe Brady as it was for LSU. That was a match made in heaven, and he spun that into a step up in the NFL. But honestly, do we think that he is a great OC if he doesn't have a trigger man? Joe Burrows is actually a really good quarterback. He was a great quarterback.
Yeah. But when did Joe Brady get to LSU?
The second 2019. That was his only year there.
Right.
2019.
Okay. And what did Joe Burrow do the year before he got there?
Nothing. Well, he was all right.
Joe Burrow was still good
compared to what he did in 2019. Nothing,
correct.
But he was
comparing it. Right.
I mean, let's not act like he inherited a Heisman winner that was on everybody's radar.
Yeah, no, he turned Joe Burrow into the Heisman guy because he made an offense that highlighted Joe Burrow's abilities as opposed to making him continue to hand the ball off 40 times a game.
Right. And
that's
that was as much of a decision of schematic. Like, I'm not going to do that old offense thing anymore. I'm going to do that new offense thing. Hey, Joe Brady, you're down here in New Orleans. Are you going to do that new offense thing for me? Cool, come on and do it. Like, I don't know if Joe Burrows couldn't have been more productive if he was just in a better system. I don't know that it had to be Joe Brady calling the shots. It could have just been a better OC who wanted to open it up.
No, I don't know, man. Like, them plays that listen, he was play calling at LSU, is my understanding.
No, so Joe Brady is good. I don't think the debate is whether or not Joe Brady is good. At least I don't think that's. Are you debating that you don't know how good Joe Brady actually is as an OC? B. Will?
No. I am debating. As much as we sit here and we can laud what Alabama has done on offense the last few years, or what LSU was able to do on offense that year, they had the guys. They had extreme, highly talented, more talent
You're
than
just
almost
saying
anybody.
It's a combination of having the right talent and the right OC, not just a really great OC.
Yeah, all those wide receivers from LSU in the league. Their quarterbacks in the league, with Cincinnati's having the best season they've had in like 15 years. So Go ahead, Greg.
I agree. I mean, I think it was a perfect storm for him, right? But, like, he played a major role in all of their success.
For sure.
Right, and so that's all I'm saying. Like I mean, we don't have to be LSU good, but if his system can put our guys in a better position to make plays like he did at LSU, it's we don't have to be as good as they were. We just have to be better than what we were, and what we were was a team that just barely missed going 9-3 or 10-2, losing some really really close games. So if he can be that 10% that will get us over the hump, I think he could be that 10% that gets us over the hump. That's all.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair. I don't think we had to ask for a reproduction of what he did in 2019. Just make some plays where we didn't last year.
Right.
And
I think hiring somebody like Joe Brady will give us a lot of clarity at the quarterback position as well too.
How so?
Based on how he likes to execute offense. In our room, which guys have that skill set?
Bo Didi.
That's.
I mean, that's
agree.
just
I agree with you.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, I think a hire like that will give you some clarity at the quarterback position as well, and then somebody like Garner coming in might do well down the road in the Joe Brady offense.
Sure.
If he's still here, right? So, I mean, I don't know. I like it. I mean, that's the first name that's popped up that I've been like, ooh. Yes.
The only thing, and I'll echo C on this, the thing that scares me about that is Joe Brady comes and he's going to bring a lot of hype because of what he did in 2019 with Joe Burrow. So everybody's going to be like, oh, look, we got, let's say, Cristobal supposedly moving to Miami. We can land a Clemens. We got Kobe, who stepped up big time this year. We got a lot of guys who have been behind. Well, I don't know if Shedrick's going to take his 5th year, but honestly, he improved, and I'm not so down on Shedrick anymore. We have enough wide receivers. We don't have the level of wide receivers that LSU had, but we have a good year or two. What does it do when Joe Brady says, okay, look, an OC job popped up in, I don't know. It's going to be in the NFL somewhere, I think. Now, do we lose the next batch of recruits who specifically wanted to come in a system where they could show out in a Joe Brady offense? Because Mike Bobo's system and what he put on the field, especially the last 6 weeks, didn't inspire so much confidence that we're losing those recruits. But Joe Brady comes here and we show out and then he leaves, and now we might be in a situation where it's like, oh, well, I don't know about them because the guy's not there. And that's to C's point. I much rather get a guy who is there, who wants to be there, who meshes with what the head coach wants to do, and we can still improve on offense, put up numbers, and if any guy makes a move, it's not going to be so much about the guy. It's going to be about the school and the talent. I think Joe Brady is has a little too much gravitational pull, at least in name, and that may hurt us down the line.
And I think to the degree of which you install the offense that's similar to what he's doing, you can kind of weather that storm when he moves on. But if it's just he's just putting in he's installing his offense and we're running his offense, yeah, that would worry me. I'm just curious to how much of it blends with what Harsin wants to do. Yeah, and if it's some type of a blend, I don't think it hurts as bad. I would be worried just like with LSU, you had a defensive line coach who was the head coach. Like, he doesn't know offense. So you're relying on this guy to give your team the offensive ideas. I think Harsin has ideas. A good blend of those two, I think, weathers that storm should he move on. But I like you, B, I am concerned about people who see the name or are coming because of the name.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think that's the thing too, man. Like, I really, this year, I need to see Brian Harsin's fingerprint on the field, not just in the offseason and in the speeches or in the I need to see his fingerprint on the field. I didn't see it offensively this year. It was not as multiple as we thought it was going to be. Right. It was a little bit more inventive than what Bobo typically does, but I just didn't see enough of what I thought was going to be a fun and exciting and an offense that made me sit and look like, man, how did they come up with that type of stuff on the field with all of the talent that we could potentially deploy? So next year, I want to see that. I really want to see what Brian Harsin's DNA brings to this Auburn football team.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Yeah, I've been in favor of whoever we bring in. Now, remember, I asked this question way back in the beginning. I think we all asked this question. does what is our offensive identity with him bringing in Mike Bobo? Because we did a whole breakdown on the multiple offense. Are they coming up with some kind of hybrid of offensive philosophies? And at the end of the day, I just think if that's what they tried to do, it didn't work.
Right.
It didn't work. So I would rather just see a guy who was the third winningest active coach in FBS before he came to Auburn do what he's been doing.
Right.
Because we have had other coaches like Urban Meyer and people who have had a lot of success come from outside the SEC, bring all their people and find success in the SEC.
Right. And
Right.
that's an important point. For all of that he's not an SEC guy, nobody who has had insurmountable, crazy success in the SEC, they were a coach somewhere else first in a smaller conference, in a smaller job, and they knew what they were doing, X's and O's or development, and they were able to show it on the SEC level. You're that guy before you get here. You can learn more when you get here. These guys, these minds, these relationships that they build with other coaches and they learn from other coaches and they develop players, that happens at every level below the SEC. We don't know it until they get onto the biggest stage and they put it together. But listen, those guys are out there. And really the challenge for a place like Auburn, for who we are, we have to find that guy before he has become that guy on his face to everybody else. Give him a comfortable seat, give him a reason to stay, let him have enough control to do what he does, do it well, and then we will be better for it because it will be a mutually beneficial relationship. It doesn't have to be a home run hire that's had their moment in the sun and now they're living off reputation. That's not what we need. We need the up-and-comer, and we hope that we have the head coach who can identify it way ahead of time.
Yeah.
Lawrence Robinson, appreciate you, man. Says the other thing is that a dynamic passing game is still the formula. UGA will continue to struggle until they find a dynamic passing game.
That's what I
Actual
said.
statement.
That's what I
Point.
said.
John Brandon says Harsin can't risk hiring someone that won't fit what we're trying to do. Is Mike G nocturnal now back in the Magic Alley again?
Yep. This is the boom boom room back here. We coined it on the last thing. So welcome to the boom boom room. I don't know what we're booming, but it's booming.
Well, listen, man. Guys, listen, you're already in the comments watching live with us. I mean, let us know what your thoughts on who you would like to see. If you're watching on replay, we want to hear from you as well. Who do you think should be the next OC at Auburn? Does it have to be a big name? Should it just be someone who understands X's and O's and who can blend with what Harsin wants? Let us know. Again, guys, you're watching the Weekend Tailgate. We pause to acknowledge the sponsors of the War Report.
The War Report's Weekend Tailgate Show is brought to you by our generous sponsors. University Ace Hardware, located at 2101 East University Drive in Auburn, Alabama, right across the street from the Auburn Mall and next to the movie theater. For all of your hardware needs, Ace is the place. Our betting partner, BUSR. Bet with confidence at busr.com/report. auburnsports.com. For news and notes on all things Auburn sports, head over to auburnsports.com. And our giveaway sponsor, GWT2 Energy. If you want the best in the business at restaurant logistics, check out our friends at GWT2energy.com.
Oh,
Talk
yeah,
to
we
me,
did
Mike
miss this
G.
super chat. Hold on, let's get this in because he did super chat this in. Is anybody else not as excited about Zach
I missed
Hill?
that one.
Yeah, we'll come back to that after Mike G's announcements because that's an interesting
Hey, listen, if you missed it at the top of the broadcast, we're giving away an AU t-shirt. This is brought to you by GWT2energy.com. Hashtag get your weight up in the comments to enter this drawing. We're going to pull at the 1 hour mark. We're partnered with the Lee County Humane Society. Find this link in the About section of our YouTube channel. 50 cents on every dollar goes to them to help them. Hashtag save all the puppies. You guys know what we're trying to do. If you don't win the t-shirt, you can just buy one to support our content. This link is also in the About section of our YouTube channel. You can check us out on podcasts. We're everywhere, taking over the podcast airwaves. Shout out to our betting partner, BUSR, busr.com/rapport. Visit them, sign up for an account. You can support us by supporting our sponsors. And signing up for an account really helps us. Doesn't matter how many, even if you just place one bet a year, go to this link specifically and use this so they know you came over from the War Report. and we get credit for that. Other than that, listen, you guys got to become insiders, man. We are growing fast. I've seen a lot of comments in the comment sections of our videos on pressers and some content that we're expanding to, talking about how fast the War Report is growing. I appreciate the kind words from everybody congratulating us on the growth. We're going to continue to grow. And we're going to continue to bring you guys informative, entertaining, and responsible content. So we are not reporters. That's not what we do. We don't break news. We talk about it after it breaks. We do get inside information, but we do not share that with you. Because most of the people who talk to us, we can't quote them ever. So we keep that information private. But you should know that the conversations that we have with people in the know, directly in the know, help us form a lot of the talking points that you guys hear on this show. So as you guys sign up to become insiders, it really helps us grow that part of it so that we can continue to bring you guys even more informative content. So if you're listening to the War Report and you hear us talking about something and then suddenly that thing happens, that's not an accident. Right. So, we're not pretending to share insider information. That's not what we do. I know some other people out there have said that's what they think we're doing. That's not what we're doing. But our community is really special. This is such a special community. It's been a blessing to just be here with you guys every week, talking football. You guys have hit us up on Twitter, every form of social media, to just keep the conversation going January to July. And that's a theme you're going to hear on this show over the next 7 months, January to July. The War Report is here with you. And then August to December, hopefully we're talking about some other stuff that's a little bit more positive than what we got August to December this year.
So let's grab a few of these super chats. Lawrence basically pointing out the coaches who are all in our division in the West. It is ridiculous. Man. It is ridiculous. Stuart Donald says, what do I miss? You missed the fact that Auburn basketball is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that we're in the middle of an offensive coordinator search, which brings us back to SS Austin's chat that I missed. My apologies. Our thoughts about Zach Hill.
Yeah.
Listen, I wasn't super excited because when I heard his name, I was like, who?
Kind of like what you heard, kind of what you said when you heard about Harsin's name?
Yeah, all right. And then I started doing my research, and it turns out this is somebody who he's familiar with. So while I'm not down on the hire, I'm not super excited. I just know that this coach has to win next year. I just know he ain't go 6-6 again. So go get your guy, coach, whoever it is. I don't care if he hires Mickey Mouse, as long as we beat South Carolina and win games we're supposed to win next year, and he can pull out 8-9 wins next year. I'm good with the guy. It just has to look better than it did this year. Yeah. So, if there's a home run hire out, we're not going to know until they hit the home run.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
B. Will, what are your thoughts?
I don't have much feelings about any of the prospects either way because I have watched no Arizona State football. I have watched no Western Kentucky football. I didn't even get a chance to watch the championship game on Friday. So what those teams can do, what those OCs can do, not only is it, number one, dependent on the talent that they have at their respective stops. Like we could say, Arizona State's offense is terrible. Yeah, but Herm Edwards is a defense-first kind of old-school coach. So I don't know if he wants. He's been shooting for a quarterback who is an elite prospect who can put up a bunch of points. I don't know if that's the game that Herm Edwards has been trying to play, and I don't know if that's the strategy that Arizona State has. I don't know what their quarterbacks are like. And trying to figure out, Joe Brady was awesome at LSU, and then the Panthers have been meh because the talent. The talent is such – it's not the only thing that matters, as we can see with the SEC championship game, but the match of coaching strategy and talent is really what is going to make any situation just pop. And we don't know. We don't have the intel on exactly who those coaches are philosophy-wise. We can look at their output over the last few stops or the last few years, but that's dependent on the talent that they had relative to the people that they played. And what the situation Auburn is in, and we know this, is we are not going to have way better talent than the people around us. We don't. We have to play two of the three most talented teams in college football every single year. without fail. That we don't rotate them boys. Them boys are going to be on the schedule every year. And we can't really go on, oh, well, they did great when they were in their conference and, everybody else was just chasing that one team. Well, like, that's not the situation here. We haven't had, we've had these conversations amongst each other and even on social media a lot. I think it really comes down to, do you have a truly elite quarterback? Do you have an elite quarterback? I think the best situation we could ask for is kind of what Dabo has had at Clemson. They have not had the most talented team top to bottom. They get 2, maybe 3 5-stars per cycle, but the quarterback was electric. Watson for 3 years, Lawrence for 3 years. Their 6-year run has been amazing, all things considered, because they don't recruit on the level of Georgia. They do not recruit on the level of Alabama. They do not recruit on the level of Ohio State. Clemson is really like the very top of the next tier down with LSU, where they're going to get great guys, but it's not going to be every position like those other teams are. But if you've got the right quarterback, you can beat anybody. It's really that simple. The first time they miss on a quarterback, they lose 3 games in a year. For the first time since when? Because Uiagalelei was not the prospect that many thought he was going to be. There were 2 Cali guys that came to the Southeast. One was Bryce Young and one was DJ. Clemson got it wrong. Bama got it right. It's really that simple. Can you imagine if DJ was at Bama and Bryce was at Clemson? This whole thing will be flipped. So whoever's doing the evaluation and picking the guy to offer, they're doing a good job over there at Bama. They get some leeway because they got multiple stabs at it that a lot of schools don't get. They can pick 2 5-star guys every cycle, or a 5-star and a 4-star cycle. That makes a difference. But here, what we need to do is get the quarterback. We need to get the quarterback. It doesn't even have to be a quarterback that everybody loved out the gate. It doesn't have to be the guy, but he needs to be incredibly dynamic. He needs to be elite. He needs to be great under pressure. And until we get that quarterback, I don't really think who the OC is matters as much as, can he put together a product right now that attracts that quarterback? I think that's the real struggle.
Let me jump in here to piggyback off of, there's people asking about Damian Craig, and there's a comment that, and me and B talked about this off air maybe yesterday or a day before, but this is why I wanted McGee. We are going to need players to catch up to Georgia and Bama. Harsin and Keesaw can call plays, right? And so for me, the unproven commodity at offensive coordinator is an interesting puzzle, right? Because if you're picking between Damian Craig and Dale McGee, like, let's just say we actually have a legitimate shot at either one of those guys, like, outside of fanciful fan ideas of what they want to do, like, we could go and offer a job as offensive coordinator to either one of them, and we got to pick, right? Like, it ain't their choice, because people seem to think that you could just get whoever you want to. But whatever, I've already made that point. And we got to pick either of the two. If you're going to go with a guy who doesn't call plays or hasn't called plays for real before now, then you have to go with the guy who's better at doing the thing that he's supposedly really good at that got him his name. And to me, that's Dale McGee. Yeah. Dale McGee is the better recruiter over Damian Craig. Now, I know Damian Craig's an Auburn guy, but you can't argue with the track record of Dale McGee and being able to recruit, right? So he consistently lands those top players at Georgia. Damian Craig every now and then will get somebody who's really, really good, right? And so if I'm just going to go pick a guy who has no offensive coordinator experience simply because he can recruit really well, then I'm going to go get Dale McGee, and I'm going to let my guy be a passing game coordinator a la Joe Brady. I'm going to have an OC, but I'm going to have somebody else who's helping to coordinate the pass game because Dale McGee can get my run game together, right? That makes a lot more sense to me than hiring Damian Craig.
So Keesaw would call the plays, and McGee would handle, I guess he'll be the run game coordinator and handle recruiting?
That's what I would do. If it were my decision and I had to choose between an unproven offensive coordinator commodity that's a good recruiter, I'd go Dale McGee, Keesaw pass game, Dale McGee run game, co-offensive coordinators, and let Keesaw call plays on game day.
Does that play? But that plays back into the point you're making. Would Dale McGee leave Georgia for that, or does he want to truly be able to call the plays and be an offensive coordinator?
Does he have the choice? Is the question right now. Like at the SEC level,
Maybe
Now,
not
he
at the
might-
SEC level.
He might could step down to some other
Conference
level.
USA
Yeah,
or
right.
somewhere
He
like
might
that.
he might could do that and be an OC today just because now he wouldn't get the same level of recruits, right? Like
Sure.
in my mind that makes the most sense is if we're gonna do one of those two things, you get Dale McGee and then you let somebody else handle the pass game, co-offensive coordinators. You get the best of both worlds. You get a great recruiter that can bring you the talent in. You've got a guy who knows the system that Harsin wants to run, and he can go out there and deploy that stuff. And so you get the talent, you get the play calling that you want, and Dale McGee gets to get his feet wet as an OC. I mean, that feels like a home run to me.
Yeah. Like you said, if he's willing to make that compromise.
Corey Dub, man, good to see you back, man. Appreciate the super chat. Who coaches the QBs if Dale is hired?
I mean, I still think that you've got what's the guy that I mentioned that's an analyst on the staff?
Reader?
Yeah, Reader.
You still have Reader on the staff who has been handling quarterback duties. And again,
Did
you have
Keesaw coach quarterbacks when he was at Boise, or was he just the coordinator?
I'm not sure, but I think, if he's a pass game coordinator, he probably can help out with that. But I think that it would be a combination of Reader and Keesaw that would get your QBs in order.
Right. There was some speculation that because there was a rumor kind of circulating around social media that Bo had given a solid commitment that he was coming back, and that was an indication that maybe we had chosen an offensive coordinator already. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but I do want to say that's really in my book, that's really unsubstantiated right now. I don't think that that's being factored into this search at all. Right from Auburn's end. Who do we get for this guy? I think they're just trying to go get their guy. Right. So I don't think the players that we have currently are being considered in that search. But they have to, to Brian's point, circling back about finding that quarterback. It just seems to be where college football is headed. So having an offensive coordinator that knows what to do with that guy when he gets him is going to be super important.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Now, I mean, that's how I felt about. That's why I felt strongly about Bryce Young heading into the SEC championship game. Despite his struggles against us, it just, when you look at his whole body of work, it just seems like they know what they're doing with that particular quarterback. They know what they have in him, and he just pulls it out. I thought the Iron Bowl was kind of like an aberration in terms of his overall season performance. And then he went out against what a lot of people thought was an elite defense. I still think they're elite. I think he showed out on Saturday.
Is anybody arguing that they're not elite because of one game?
I've been getting a lot of comments about, I thought this defense was elite, and I'm just like, they are elite. What you saw was the Heisman winner.
Yeah.
Let's
reacting
go
to
ahead.
one
Let's
game,
just
bro.
let's just go ahead. Since we're here.
I've gotten a lot of those
Did anyone
comments.
have anything else about the coordinator talk before we tackle what happened yesterday in
the
Atlanta?
super chat here from Corey said, who coaches Q? Oh, we already got that one in there. Who coaches it? Yeah, so that's all right. Yeah, we're good. We can move on.
Okay.
I'm gonna have very little to say after this point in the show, so we're clear.
Yeah, for sure.
I will say this. I know last week on social media, I've tried to temper Auburn fans' expectations as to who the OC could potentially be or wind up with. I think that we fired our last OC who coached in the SEC, was known as a recruiter who checks all of these boxes. I know people aren't sold on Bobo because of what Georgia fans have said about him. Of course, we have a whole full year of work on Bobo to know how we feel about him. But I think we fired that guy because he didn't ultimately fit with what Harsin wanted to do. I think the missing piece here is finding a guy who can do what Harsin wants him to do. I think that goes for recruiting, that goes for play calling, that goes for QB development, the whole nine.
This
So if he
is an
could
interesting question, though. Sorry, I meant to hit
Okay.
Erica's here. Will it be completely Harson's choice for OC? God, I hope so.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I really
That's
hope.
a
I
good
hope so this
question,
time.
Erica. You ask
Yeah.
good questions. That's why we got you here. I don't know. I would hope so.
Yeah.
Really would. Let's talk about the SEC championship. Let's talk about Ike's favorite topic. All right. We know what
I hate
happened.
both of these teams. I literally flipped a coin when I picked who was going to win this. Every conference championship game, y'all don't even know this. I did not pick those games. I flipped a coin and put the name down for whoever won. I didn't care. I didn't care who won. I don't care.
Fair enough.
Fair.
Fair enough.
That's fair enough. There was a. I think we put a post on IG about who were you pulling for in this SEC championship, and someone posted, "I'd rather take a dump in my hands and clap before I pick either team."
Yeah, that was a great response.
Yikes! Wow,
That's
that's
wonderful.
weirdly
hate is
graphic and
And dump was not the
severely
word
gross.
they used.
Yeah,
It was great.
yeah,
The hate is real. The hate is
like-
real.
Yeah, I just
yeah. Pretty gross. Yikes! Strangely
So,
graphic.
Mike G, you picked Bama, man. What talk to us? What about
Go
that
ahead,
game?
talk your trash.
Go ahead. It's your
Made the
time to
pick.
shine.
Made the pick, man.
Listen, I won't stay on this too long, but I thought
my coin picked Georgia.
what I thought would happen, and I mean, Stetson Bennett, he didn't do a terrible job, but he threw two very costly interceptions in that game.
No, that's a terrible job.
Right?
Pick sixes is a terrible
Yeah,
job.
right. And
The pick six was 100% on him. The first pick was just a bit miscommunication between him and the receiver.
yeah, so I mean, my feeling about the game was Georgia has had some really lazy starts offensively to a lot of games against lesser competition. And that if for some reason Alabama solved that first half puzzle, if they got behind, would they be able to come back? And it's exactly what happened, right? Like Alabama, they went up a little bit, but they never really stopped. They slowed down, and they had the kind of first half struggles we've seen them have over the last 5 or 6 games. So I just think they were consistent in who they were, and a great player just found a way to score. I know it looked like Georgia didn't bring pressure, but by the numbers, Bryce Young has been really, really good under pressure. Now, I don't want to downplay what we did against them in the Iron Bowl, but I kind of said, like, listen, this is the Iron Bowl. I don't know if I'm making any judgments on how he did based on how we played him in the Iron Bowl, right? Auburn gets up for that game. It's at home. It is what it is. I thought we did a really good job getting after him, but at the end of the game, he still was Bryce Young. So when execution was needed, Bryce Young showed up. And that's exactly what you need in overtime when you have to go for two. When you're running those little plays from the 2-yard line, that's all execution, man. And I'm taking him just about over anybody in the country in that area. And he showed up. He threw for over 250 yards in the first half of that game. And, there wasn't much done on the ground by either team. I think when I checked it, maybe they had like 115 yards rushing. So it wasn't like a gangbusters rushing performance.
More than what Georgia was giving up, though.
Yeah, I mean, but Bama has not been giving up much on the ground either, like 85 yards a game on the ground.
Right.
So if all things even offensively, I just thought it would come down to who has the better quarterback, and I did not think that Georgia's defense was so much better than Bryce Young that Alabama would not be able to score in this game. Now, did I see them scoring 40? No. I didn't see that. I didn't see that at all. And, there was a pick six, so technically they didn't score 40. But, like, I don't know, man. Like, it just, they turned on at the right time. This hasn't been a very good Alabama offensive line. They showed up for their quarterback in the SEC championship game.
To me, that's the story of this game, is the Alabama O-line.
Yeah, they showed up for him. And so I'll be interested to see what Kirby does now going into the playoff. Does Stetson Bennett have enough to get you over the hump in the playoff or in the national title game?
Let me just say this. I told y'all Georgia fans it was inevitable that Georgia was going to do this to y'all. And y'all got mad at me and started trying to get petty in our comment section. And I told you it was going to happen.
They were scared.
I told you.
They were scared. Listen, so they got on social media. I'm looking at, of course, Paul Maharry came on the week of when we played Georgia. He talked to us, so we follow him on Twitter. And I'm looking at him and looking at his feed. And
Shouts out to
they
Paul Maharry,
were,
by the way.
yeah, shouts out to Paul Maharry. They were nervous. And he said this when he was on the show. He was like, yeah, I mean, it seems like this is the year, and then maybe you lose during the season, but Bama's right there. And the fans, they were like, man, we're never going to win with Stetson Bennett. And I was like, man, y'all are fine. If your defense is going to play like this, you're fine. Stetson Bennett's fine. And lo and behold, I don't know if Nick has a Kirby voodoo doll under the top sheet of the clipboard or what, man.
Well,
but
the issue is
Jeez.
Kirby Smart runs the same defense Nick Saban has been coaching for years. They coach the same defense together. He knows how to beat his own defense.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
you have elite players, but I know this defense just as well as you. And Kirby hasn't changed that defense significantly since he left from being the DC at Bama.
Right.
He just got players of his own to go do it.
Right.
So, yeah, it's a little bit harder to beat a guy that helped you create the thing that you're trying to put against him.
And then offensively, you don't have the firepower you need to be able to
Right.
score at will. And it's been a lot of their defense setting their offense up in great field position and turnovers in the red zone and all kind of things that have helped that offense. But that's a great point by Ike. Like, you know, he made, like, I made you, son. You think you're just gonna walk into my house and use my own gun against me, right? Like, I just don't think. I just didn't see it, and I hate it because I would have liked. I mean, I don't like either. I don't like either team, but a humbling of the Bammers would have been appropriate. And going into it, I just didn't see it. So now we're in a position where both those teams will likely still make. Well, we know Bama's going to make it, right? It's just going to be a matter of seeding for them. And the only other team that could take Georgia out of the playoff at this point,
yeah, they're already seeded.
Oh, they
Bama
seeded?
is so the seeds are out.
Okay.
Bama is 1. Michigan is 2.
Ooh.
Georgia is 3, and Cincy is 4.
So they
you're looking
set
at
it up.
Bama. They set it up for right.
They
right.
set it up.
Rematch being the championship, yeah.
Yeah.
They set it up for a rematch in the championship again.
Second time in 5 years, right? That we're going to see that.
Yeah.
4 years that we're going to see that.
5, I
possibly.
think. 4 or 5.
2017.
4, I think.
Yeah. So I'll be interested to see. This is what coaches are made of. Does beating the same team twice in a season is difficult.
Yeah.
And the team that wins is at a disadvantage in my book, right?
Yeah,
So
I agree.
Does Kirby does he have a JT Daniels backup if he has to pull out all the stops to win this second game? Because everybody will, if you beat him in the Natty, people will forgive that SEC championship loss. Right. So it never happens in college football. He gets another shot at this just weeks later. Mm-hmm. And I think that this
2017. It's 2017 all over again, but now it's against your boss. Your former
yes.
boss.
So, like, does he have enough? He almost cracked it in 2017, and then, Nick Saban was pulling chess moves and put 2 in. Like, is he going to be able to do the same thing? Because I just think
moves.
I just don't think that Stetson Bennett is your game breaker. I don't think he's going to lead a furious comeback. I don't see it. And
Their offense isn't built like that, though. I don't even care if it's JT Daniels.
Right.
JT Daniels
it's
is
not
a
the guy.
West Coast offense,
Right.
dink and dunk kind of quarterback. The only difference between him and Stetson Bennett, in my opinion, is their stature. And JT Daniels has less of a propensity to like Stetson Bennett is going to go out there and press and try to make the big play more often than JT Daniels is. So I don't know that Georgia can come back with JT Daniels as the quarterback.
So is it just coaching then? I mean, is that what we saw?
It's game plan.
It's basically
Kirby just
what
got
Ike was
outcoached.
saying. It's basically what Ike is saying. Like the offense, if the offense gets down, okay, if Bama gets down, who do you have more confidence in coming back? Right? Is it Bama or Georgia? Like the offense for Georgia isn't. They complement that defense, right? So if the defense is suffocating and getting the offense short fields, the offense will do its job. But if they get down, they're down.
Yeah, I think
not having
biggest-
their big play receiver fully healthy. I mean, he was out there playing, but he only
Play like
played
handful
6
of snaps. Yeah, a handful of snaps.
Now, man, Bowers is real though. That tight end.
Listen, so the reason this sets up really well for Kirby and company, I'm with you, Mike. The rematch favors the person who lost because the reason that we played Bama so closely is we were begging Mason all season, dude, send some pressure. This zone ain't working. Our guys can't cover that well. Send pressure. Heat these people up. There are plenty of people that we played that were, the stats said they will fold if you pressure them. We didn't pressure them. We got carved up. We lost games. He held all that for the Iron Bowl. Absolutely 100% believe. When we heard preseason, oh, yeah, we're tinkering in the laboratory and we feel like there's a lot of stuff. The whole season, we were like, well, where is it? Where is the special blitz packages and the it looks like man, but we're in zone, pick 6 to the house. Like, I didn't see any of that. Well, very little of that during the season. But the Iron Bowl felt like the first time it's like he's been stacking it's like he added 2 or 3 blitzes to the war chest every week of the season, and he didn't pull them out to the Iron Bowl. And I think a big part of why we were able to affect Alabama that way is because they hadn't seen it. They have not seen us do it. They have not seen all of the personnel that we used in that game playing the way that they played. All of those lessons learned when we were going back and forth between man and zone. It seemed like all of that kind of culminated in a really, really good defensive effort. Now, Kirby, I didn't see too much different. And it seems like he was like, listen, man, my front seven is, I trust these guys. We've been great all season. Why would I not? Look at Bama's offensive line. It seemed like he rested on his laurels with what he knew he had in his front seven and what he thought was a vulnerable Bama offensive line. And I mean, how can we blame him? Bama's offensive line statistically has been vulnerable all season long. However, coaching decisions come down to something like, I'm going to do something that I have never done, whether I think I have the advantage or not, because I need to be ready with anything. And that should include, I am going to prep JT Daniels as a starter. And the advantage that has is you haven't seen JT Daniels play for real. You don't know what I want to run with JT Daniels. He's been on the field for like, what, maybe 2 full games of snaps, and that's it out of 13? That is an advantage. That should be an advantage if Kirby's a terrible coach, though. So let me.
Bro, why was he sitting on timeouts like it's PTO at the end of the year and it rolls over to the next game or something? Like I was like, what is Kirby? Man, Kirby's so trapped. Man, Kirby, go get a haircut and stop coaching football.
Oh man, it's gonna be very interesting to see.
Kirby smart.
I mean, they put Bama against Cincinnati, RIP Cincinnati, right?
Oh, okay.
All right. And Michigan versus Georgia, I think will be fairly entertaining.
That's gonna be a slugfest, bro.
I think it's gonna be an entertaining game. So
They are
I'm
literally
pretty happy
the
with
same
that.
team. They're
Yes, they
like they are literally, quite literally, they are the same football team. Georgia and
That's
Michigan.
gonna be that's gonna be throwback football. I think.
Yeah, I think that's going to be really entertaining. Harbaugh made the playoff and beat Ohio State and won the conference. Right? Do the Harbaugh detractors have to be quiet now, no matter what happens in this playoff?
Absolutely,
For
they
sure.
do. They do.
Yeah, Michigan just
They
happy
do.
to be there, bro.
Are they just
They
happy to have
they're
a ticket?
Yeah, they're happy to be there. Listen,
Yeah, they playing with house money.
listen, Auburn fans would have been happy if we had just made the playoff this year because we haven't yet. That their Michigan fans are in the same place because they were right out on the doorstep and they folded they finally made the next step. This buys him another couple of years. He could go 6-6 next season and he'll be all right.
Yeah, he's playing with
I
house
think
money
I'm
at this
with
point. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
he could go 6-6 next
Yeah, he
year
could.
and then
He
write
could.
it
They'll
off,
be
yeah.
mad, but they ain't gonna do nothing.
How
Yeah.
do you go from the playoff to 6-6?
Yeah, but
They
you ain't gonna
won't
get
fire
him. Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll his hot
not
his
gonna
seat
fire
will
him.
get hot, but he has
Okay,
earned
yeah.
himself a really bad season without getting fired. You know, so I mean that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he can just go do whatever he wants. It would be a stunning turnaround if he got fired. Certainly, I think they would have to have a losing record.
Yes. Yeah, he'd have to only win like 4 games next season.
Or
And-
2
and
games
that-
in
and-
conference or something like
Ain't that many teams in the Big Ten that could catch Michigan like that. So no,
Yeah,
that's
I
not
mean,
happening.
can we just all agree that Nick Saban sold his soul to the devil and is likely the Antichrist?
Yeah, we can agree.
Okay,
Yeah, we can agree
all
on
right,
that.
cool.
Yeah, that's not tough
Cool.
sell at all.
Yeah, right. And that
you
Bama A is like the mark of the beast.
Yeah, that's the slash. The
Sorry
slash
if that
is
offends
actually the
anybody.
mark.
I just want them
The
to
slash
go
is the mark of the beast because Atlanta Braves we let that ride.
Right, cool. Cool.
All right, T-shirt time or giveaway time. What do we?
Let's
we
see.
got
We've
here?
got 288 people on the stream and a grand total of, drum roll please,
That wasn't a drum roll.
56 entries for this
Oh,
T-shirt.
killing
Come
it.
on, I tell you, boy. Yeah, but I'm not finna wait this time because y'all had a lot of time. Well, I'll wait long enough for you to know that we're giving away a shirt if you hadn't seen already. Hashtag get your weight up in the comments.
Joe Kyle here says kudos to Mike G for his Bama pick. Put it all
good
on
time
Bryce
to put that
Young.
up when he walked away. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
I did that just for Mike G.
Yep. We're over 60. I'm hitting it. I'm sorry. If you were late getting it in there, I'm sorry. You got to start getting to the show on time or something, man. Y'all know how we do, man. We giving away stuff to David, whatever your last name is. Am I? Yeah, but it's David. It's yours, man. We need to
Tell us
see
how
you
to
in this
pronounce
comment
that
section.
if you're here. First,
Yeah.
let us know
Pop
if
up in
you're
the
here.
chat. Let us know that you're here.
Because no people gonna think you gone.
Yeah.
For
All right.
sure.
We'll give you a minute to get in here. Let's let them know about our last sponsor real quick, and then we'll see if David is here. Oh, he's here. But go ahead for it.
Cool. All right.
All right, business owners, high-income professionals, listen up. Have you ever considered that by funding a 401k or IRA, you are potentially creating a massive tax burden when you retire? Contrary to what you hear from traditional advisors and accountants, 401k or IRA do not save on taxes. It postpones the tax and tax calculation. Wealthy people don't have access to some special tax code. They use financial products, parts of the tax code that are available to everyone, including you and strategy. Would you like to learn how to take advantage of the tax code? All right, well, check this out. Our guy, Ethan Daw, the owner of Innovative Financial Solutions, has clients throughout the USA and is a nationally recognized expert in the veterinary community. You know how we love to save puppies. So contact Ethan at 251-243-6038 or email him, ethan@ethandaw.com. Ethan Daw is your alternative to traditional financial planning. Tell him the War Report sent you.
All
David,
right,
please be sure to email us at business@thewarreport. Please, in that email, provide your address as well as shirt size, and we will send that to you. And again, congratulations for winning and actually being here.
Yeah, that was probably the quickest anybody has responded that they were here when we posted their name up here. David was ready, buddy. I like that. I like them folks that's ready to get their stuff.
Indeed. Well, I guess we towards the end, so got a question for you.
What did we see?
Hi. Mine is short and sweet. The SEC did it again. Not one, but two teams in the college football playoff in the past 4 to 5 years, and what could likely set up to be two teams in the national championship game at the same time. Like that's an impressive accomplishment. Also, 13 teams that are bowl eligible, two teams in the playoffs. Just the dominance of this conference is just at an all-time. The SEC West is as strong as it's ever been. You got to tip your hats off to the SEC, the commissioner, everyone, the coaches, the universities, everyone involved for putting out an amazing product. It's a good time to be an SEC fan, a member of the SEC, and I'm curious to see if Bama and Georgia can get back to a rematch. That's what everyone wants to know. So that's all I got. B. Will, what say you, sir?
What I saw is that Cincy is in fact in, Mike G. Been telling you since, I don't know, week 5 or something. Hey, Cincy can do it. And more so than the fact that they beat Notre Dame. Notre Dame carries with them a weight that they should not have. But because Cincy beat them, they inherited that mojo, that weight. And there's no way that you could favor Notre Dame as much as you know the media public does without carrying that favor over to Cincinnati. It wasn't a neutral site victory. It wasn't at Cincinnati. They were at home at Notre Dame, and they beat them soundly, convincingly. Not a whole bunch of wild plays, not a whole bunch of freak turnovers or anything like that. They did that. Now, they had 1 or 2 games that were close, but I am not. I would have told you that Bama was vulnerable, which is why I picked Georgia yesterday. And here they go playing the best game they played all season against the best defense that they played all season. One game is all it takes, man. Well, technically two. They just have to play well. Them playing close with Tulane didn't mean anything to me. A couple other teams that had one position victories. It doesn't matter. Why? Because the best team on their schedule, they now have a better win than Georgia. Georgia's best win was technically 9-3 Kentucky. They beat now. It's not to say that Georgia wouldn't have beaten Notre Dame. I'm not making that claim. But Cincy did what they had to do. They won the group of 5. They won their conference undefeated. They beat at least 2 ranked teams, I believe, because Houston was ranked last week when they beat them. I don't know if they finished ranked, so I have to look over their schedule again. But the Notre Dame win is basically what did it. So whoever scheduled Notre Dame in that athletic department, you won Cincinnati the right. Some will say to get mauled by Alabama. I say to give Alabama a very good game and represent your school in the college football playoff. So bravo, Cincinnati. Now beat Bama.
Also, bravo to you, Joe. We appreciate that,
Appreciate you,
man,
Joe.
for the $50 super sticker, man. And
Thank you.
And Cameron Carr.
Hey, my guy.
here.
My guy.
Shouts out to you, my guy. Who's next? Who else saw something? Mike G?
Interesting question. What did I see? Well, there were a number of things going on in college football this weekend. Before I say mine, I got to tell you, I got to comment on B's. How bad did Oklahoma State blow it yesterday though?
Oh, yeah. I was so happy. I picked Baylor, so
They had a
Baylor
chance.
too.
They had a chance to sneak in, and that was the most heartbreaking loss I think I've seen this season.
How bad was their quarterback? 4 picks, dude.
Man,
My God.
the go-ahead
And I just
touchdown.
found out that Baylor was playing with their second string quarterback.
True freshman. I don't know if he was true freshman. He was a freshman though. He had not played before this year.
Yikes, man. Go-ahead
crept, yeah, he
touchdown,
crept.
and the guy gets stopped diving for the end zone.
That was an amazing
Inches
defensive play.
short.
Inches.
That was an
the pylon.
amazing.
Oh, it was a heartbreaking loss to them. I thought they were going to pull it out the last minute, but they blew it from like 2-yard line twice.
Yeah.
Man, wow. It was just, I don't know. So it's a perfect storm for Cincy. Congratulations on playing Bama in the first round of the playoffs.
Dave Aranda.
They got
2
in. They got
at
in.
Baylor.
They got in. So my way, what did I see? Listen, man, Bryce Young is going to win the Heisman. He's going to win the Heisman. Who else is there? Who else is there, right? Who could you possibly consider a Heisman winner? I mean, if we're to believe that Georgia had a marquee defense, then what he did against them in the SEC championship game to get his team to the playoff cannot be overlooked in the Heisman discussion. So I think there's a thing that ESPN and some of the other servers like Max Preps do where they rate recruits in the history of all-time recruiting, and he's like the 10th or 8th best recruit of all time or something like that, which is a heavy weight to carry. The weight of that expectation gets to some kids, and I think that behind an O-line that wasn't so great this year, he did a lot of really good things. I thought maybe that C.J. Stroud kid had a chance to sneak into the Heisman conversation and steal one, but then they laid an egg versus Michigan. And, it just I would have liked to have seen it be somebody else. But, at the end of the day, I just think this is Bryce Young's Heisman, right? And that sucks that not only is Alabama producing national champions, but they're also producing Heisman winners. Yikes.
This is
Screw
like
them.
a freaking video game.
Yeah, it just sucks, man. I hate it. Congrats to Bryce, though.
You could have really done another one.
Yeah, for real.
Ike.
Yeah, moving on to stuff I care about. So Auburn basketball is going to be interesting this season. This goes right along with our guy Corey Weber's super chat thoughts on the 7-1 Fighting Pearls so far this season. We talked about this a little bit at the top of the broadcast, Corey. So when you get a chance, go back and rewatch, get some thoughts on that. But the reason why I say interesting specifically is we've had good guard play. I have no idea what this guard rotation is going to look like once why is his name escaping me right now? Comes back from injury.
Why is his name escaping me too?
I don't know.
Zep Jasper?
No,
that's Zep Jasper.
Injured. Achilles injury.
Lord have mercy.
Flanagan.
Flanagan.
Thank you.
Oh,
Once
yeah.
Flanagan
What's
comes
going
back,
on?
I don't know, bro. Names, I just don't. Names, just if I don't have it sitting right here in front of me, I just need to have some show notes or something. But once
Alan
Flanagan comes back from injury, it's going to be interesting to see what the guard rotation looks like, because I just don't know how you take like time away from any of these guys. Like the odd man out is likely going to be Wendell Green, or what's the one white guy that's getting a lot? Oh, or Devin Cambridge is gonna lose some of his playing time at the off guard, because Cambridge has been okay, right? Like he's not a consistent shooter. He's being very inconsistent on defense. He's a high flyer and he's a high energy guy, but I think Cambridge might be the odd man out once Flanagan gets back. I don't know, man.
Yeah. Cambridge is probably the most inconsistent guy that has started this long that I've seen under Bruce in this Bruce tenure. Everybody else, I mean, remarkable improvement from most players when you play a while under Bruce. But Cambridge has been the one, man. It's like he gets
a lot of open shots that he just like, because there are so many other threats on the floor. He gets so many open shots and he's just not knocking them down consistently, man.
Yeah.
And because Flanagan he's not a better shooter, but he's just a better shot maker and a better defender. I think that, if I'm gonna have somebody out here who's not a good shooter, which people are mentioning Berman in the comments, that's the guy's name I was trying to think of. Berman can actually shoot a little bit though.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know that you take time out from, if it's a 1-to-1 correlation, to me, it's Flanagan and Cambridge as far as like what their abilities are on the floor, and Flanagan's a little bit better offensively. So Cambridge is likely the one that's going to lose the minutes.
That's interesting. So, question. From a chemistry standpoint, do you risk throwing off the flow of this team by inserting Flanagan back in?
It depends on how late into the season it is. Like, if it's December. If it's December and he has an opportunity to get in and play through SEC play, then yes, you absolutely do, because you want to play your best basketball towards the end of the year going into the tournament. If it is right before the tournament, then no, you integrate him if you need to. People in foul trouble, But I think he's good enough that you can't not play him.
Yeah, I just think what a good problem to have for Bruce Pearl.
Yeah.
Right? Like your preseason all SEC guard goes down, and your only loss through 8 games is to a ranked team in 4 overtimes in the Bahamas. Like, wow. So he has a chance. They do. It's really going to be interesting to watch Auburn basketball this season. If you guys haven't noticed, we've been posting the highlights of the games on our channel. So if you missed the game and you just want to see every Auburn field goal scored in the game, that's essentially what we're doing. Is just putting up every bucket so you can kind of just quick recap of the game in 4 minutes. But as I go through cutting that film, I am just blown away by the chemistry that this team has. I've seen some incredible passes where it looks like they're reading each other's minds. Yeah. The alley oops, man,
guard play, man. It's been so good.
It's right.
crazy.
So good.
It's
And
crazy.
We've gotten in with our fair share of backdoor cuts as well, so that's been impressive.
And Zep Jasper finding his shot is a warning shot to the rest of the league. I mean, him and Wendell are pulling up from Curry range.
Wendell don't have a conscience, bro. He'll pull up from
He'll pull up from your mom's house. Yeah, he hit some from Opelika, man. Like, I was like, wow, these kids just, if we're gonna shoot like that too, if we're gonna shoot like 2019 Auburn with all this height, wow, man, they can do something really special. I wonder when the rankings start to recognize the potential of this team. Is it in SEC play? They respect us because they got us in the top 20 5. But like,
I think we're 21 right now.
21.
yeah. I just wonder when you start to look at this and be like, okay, they are a one-loss team.
We're gonna have to beat a ranked team.
Yeah. You're gonna have to play like LSU, Arkansas. Like there's opportunities for us to climb up, but the SEC West yet again is going to be pretty challenging for us because you got LSU and Arkansas. Of course, you always have Kentucky and Tennessee. In the
Who got
East.
picked to win the
got
conference?
You
Who got
got
picked to win the
Bama.
conference?
I think LSU.
Did LSU get picked?
If I'd have to go back. No, I think Kentucky actually might have gotten picked to win.
Interesting. The media pick, right?
Man,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Kentucky might be tough now that
Yeah, they picked Kentucky.
sorry face Barbie ain't there. He was holding them down. Now they might be good again.
Yeah, you're right. They picked Kentucky.
Yeah.
They picked Alabama, Kentucky, Alabama, Arkansas 3, Tennessee 4, Auburn 5, LSU
Really?
6, Florida
After
7.
what we've done to Tennessee and Kentucky, they all right.
Listen,
okay.
man, they don't. Nobody ever
Okay.
picks us for anything to start the season, and that's exactly where you want to be if you're an Auburn person, man. Just like, all right, don't worry about it. We go out there and prove it on the court, the field, whatever.
And that's the good thing about this conference, but also college basketball, is that there's way too many games for us to prove it. The rankings mean literally nothing, honestly. Even really going through to conference championship games, you can have me ranked 100. If I win my conference championship, cool, I'm in there.
Right.
I like
And that's why-
basketball
that's-
better that way.
That's why I say Flanagan comes back. Absolutely, you play him.
Yeah.
Because you, even if you start to lose a little bit, you want him to get out there and get into the flow of playing basketball with those guys in some moments against teams that can actually play. And then when you get into the SEC tournament, and that's what I meant by tournament time, when you get into the SEC tournament, if you're clicking on all cylinders and you can go on a run, then you get into the NCAA tournament with a higher seed. And you start and you get a couple of cupcakes early, and you can rest some guy like you. That's what you really want. Winning early is cool. Winning late is ultimate.
Sidebar, and just to be petty, Tony Barbie is the head coach of Central Michigan. They're currently 1-6 and are losing right now to Western Illinois by the score of 73-35.
Wow.
That boy a loser. Big loser. I mean, you a loser, boy.
Tony Barbie, man, I didn't like him before, but then after last year, him starting
He
to
started
say all
getting
that
petty.
stupid stuff, I was
He
like,
was
okay,
starting to
bro.
get real slick.
Yeah.
We knocked y'all out the tournament when you was talking that trash that year. And you took a job. I don't know why anybody gave him a job. Off what evidence? Hey, you sit next to John Calipari, right? Here's a job. That's basically what it had to be.
Yeah, he might as well go coach Birmingham Southern or something, bro. Just drop down a couple divisions. and-
Auburn
High school. High school get fired.
If Auburn wins,
Columbus
if
State
Auburn
or
makes the Final Four, is Jabari Smith the number 1 overall pick
Easily.
in the draft?
Well, here's the thing. We don't see what those G League guys are doing. I don't watch those games.
Yeah,
so
that's
those
a good
guys are
point.
getting
That's a
some
good
more
point.
pro-level coaching, and
a
though
good
they're
point.
showing out
Can
down
we
there.
talk? What's your boy name that's playing for Houston right now?
Green?
Man,
Green?
cuz.
So, like, we almost got him, right?
Bruh, if he had come to Auburn last year, dog,
Oh, my God.
With
Jalen Green is so nasty, bruh. I was like, this boy ridiculous. If he had come to Auburn last year, we'd have been mopping the court with folks.
You know what, though? I think the NIL has probably leveled the playing field
A little bit.
with the G League, because before, if you can guarantee him, somewhere between $200,000 and $300,000, and they get NBA coaching, then it's like over college. Yeah, I mean, maybe I get some money here and there, but it's not legal. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go to the pros where it's legal. I can travel and do all that stuff. But now
That's a good point.
I can go here. If I'm a one and done, the school is gonna be behind me as soon as I sign.
Right.
Companies are going to be lining up to give me that. And if we play well, man, that money, you could get more deals as the year goes on, man. You could be the face of the TV advertisement in the area where your school is. There are a lot of opportunities available now where you could be even more of a star than if you're in the G League. Because the G League, to be fair, I'm sure they are balling. I don't know what any of them are doing.
It's not the same. They don't have the same kind of TV contracts, none of that stuff
Right.
that collegiate basketball. Man, but just Sharif Cooper and Jalen Green on the same team.
Oh,
last
my
year.
God.
Just for about 35 seconds, just let that run through your brain. And
So
then
the-
Oh,
so
that's a good question, Corey. That's a good question. If Jalen came, did we still self-impose penalties? Because a big part of it was Cooper was out for like a good half of the season almost.
Right, that was
Yeah,
rough. That
true.
was rough.
True. I don't know, man. I mean,
Green
that's a
would have been
great
balling,
question. Great question. NIL has changed so much. Did you guys see the kid that is supposed to be the second highest rated quarterback recruit of all time? The one that's transferring from Ohio State.
Ohio State.
What's his name?
What's his name? I know you're talking about. He got the mullet.
Yeah. Captain Mullet. He I was reading that he's when he came to Ohio State, he signed NIL deals worth approximately $1 million
Didn't play it down.
and has not played it down.
Hey, Spencer Rattler racked it up too.
Yeah,
Was terrible.
I'm like, what? Like, what? This kid's a millionaire already. He's a jerk, and he has not played it down, dude. I mean, and so now he's on the market. He's the most eligible free agent on the market, on the portal market, probably this offseason.
I would say Dylan Gabriel because we've actually seen what he can do.
Coming off injury, though, I just think it's different, man.
But it was a collarbone, not like it was a knee
it's
or
a
an
clavicle.
ankle. Yeah, that's what a collarbone is. It's a
Yeah.
collarbone.
Does it affect his ability to throw and take hits? All like that. All that stuff is valid. So
Yeah, I just don't know, man. Coming off an injury, I'm just not sure. But I'm not saying Gabriel's good. He's got talent, so I'm not disagreeing with you on his talent.
And depending on where he goes, I've heard Ole Miss.
That's scary,
Lord.
man.
Yeah.
I was hoping
And-
Lane would get the hell out of here and go to OU, but we're gonna be stuck with Lane with an experienced, dynamic dual threat quarterback.
I'd rather he stay at Ole Miss. I
Right.
don't want him going to Oklahoma and then coming back to the SEC.
Justin Hokanson had a really funny tweet about Ohio State transfers.
I
where
saw that.
He was just
I
like,
saw
at
that.
this point, I'm betting the house on any transfer quarterback out of Ohio State. I saw it and I laughed out loud.
Talking about
audibly.
Jamison Williams
Yeah.
and then
Burrows
and then
and-
Joe
Oh, my
Burrow.
God.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, I'd be interesting to see what happens this offseason.
So, according to Anthony Rudd, Jay Hoke is reporting that we should know something on Zach Hill tomorrow. And I think a few other people have kind of mentioned that as well. App State offensive coordinators who we're looking at also, Grimes and McGee, are options as well.
Yeah, I mean, they've got to do something soon because of recruiting. So yeah, they can't afford to drag their feet on this. I just wonder if there's going to be an emergency pivot. Is somebody in Harsin's ear saying, "Hey, should we take a look at Joe Brady?" If you're trying to do that tomorrow, I don't know that Brady's a consideration,
It might be.
right? Like, how quickly can they get him on a jet, interview him, talk about it, see if he's a good fit, right?
In a
Like,
day.
Jump on Zoom.
In a day. Brady ain't doing nothing.
I spoke with a former Auburn player that is working at Western Kentucky with Zach Kitley. And he gave me the lowdown on Kitley. Really sharp, young, offensive mind. I mean, everybody on this show is older than Kitley. Like, he's still, he's still got his Huggies on. But just a really, really sharp guy and very innovative. I'm not sure that what I saw in that Conference USA Championship game is he's not going to be able to run that at Auburn. He's not. I mean, because it's practically air raid. And I just don't. I don't see it. I don't see it.
so the reason why I would say no is just because we have so many running backs in the stable.
Yeah,
Right?
I
It's
don't.
just-
I don't think it's going to fly.
It's hard to run an air raid offense when your running backs are this good.
Yeah. So I mean, it'll be interesting to see which way he goes. Guys, everybody knows. We try to be as unbiased in our opinions as possible, but we are pro Auburn. And before we close out, I just want to say I'm really pulling for this coach. I really want him to get this right, and I want to see him do well at Auburn. And I want Auburn to be the job where people stay if they have success and not springboard to their next job.
Yeah.
Some people speculated about Bruce Pearl leaving Auburn for some reason. I saw some chatter about that on Twitter, and I'm just like,
Apparently, Maryland's making a really good hard press towards
yeah.
him right now.
Give me a break.
Are they a better
dude.
job than us now, though?
Yeah,
Like
I
now
mean,
we got the facilities for basketball.
Yeah, I know ACC used to be the crown prince of basketball, college basketball. Not anymore so much. I think the SEC has caught up in a lot of ways. There's more parity in our conference. The coaching has improved everywhere, so it's no longer just what's his face, Calipari, and everybody else. Right. Like,
Yeah.
so it's not just people are giving Kentucky a run for their money every year. Bama has hired a solid coach. Bruce Pearl came in and kind of changed the game. We got lucky to get him, again, timing. So, on the football side, I would just like to see them develop a little bit more of that. Harsin, I think he could still be that guy. His seat got a little hot this year. He can quiet a lot of detractors by just winning some of those games that we lost really closely. And I didn't get a chance to make this point. We're talking about the SEC championship game, but a lot of people were essentially trying to say, look what our defense did to Bama and look at Georgia's defense. Their defense is not elite. And I really thought that was not a good way of looking at it. In my mind, it means that we potentially on defense are very close to something special. Having been able to do something that a team with better all-around rated talent than we had was unable to do against that quarterback. So I know it was the Iron Bowl, and the gravity of the moment definitely plays into the outcome of the game and how everything played out. But, man, we are so close. Because when you play that well defensively against great talent, but then you completely flub it against, like, terrible, like, somebody who's just not better than you, that's a scheme issue. And if you have the pieces, the scheme can be fixed. Right. If the coaches just take the information, learn what they need to learn, and then catapult us forward into something that could be really special defensively next year. So, is Mason going to blitz more in 2022? I assume if we have the right guys, maybe. But we know Zacoby McClain is gone. And so they're going to have some holes to fill at linebacker. This kid, Dylan Brooks. Right, that we stole from Tennessee, essentially. Guys, there is a lot of reasons to stay plugged in to Auburn football for the next 30 days because we may get a chance to see some redshirt freshmen audition. I'm hearing chatter that Zacoby may not play in this bowl game.
I wouldn't blame him.
I wasn't expecting him to.
Right.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't, man, God, that could be a chance for some kid to just step in and get something on film going into the spring and just ball out, right? Some of these redshirt freshmen that we didn't see this year who can't burn a red shirt if they participate, man, let's see. I'm excited to see that. I'm really excited to see that.
Don't hurt my feelings, Coach. Let me see my freshmen out there.
Yeah, let's see him, Coach.
The future is now.
Nothing to
Future's
lose
now.
here. Yeah, you're not going to get fired if you lose the bowl game, right? But figure it out for next year. And, thanks to everybody all season for plugging in with us. I saw Chase H here in the comments. Guys, go over to his channel, subscribe, support your Auburn content creator community. Shout out to Zach Blackerby over at Locked On Auburn. If you don't listen to them, we're on that podcast every Wednesday as well. Please go over there, hit subscribe for Zach and company. They're definitely part of our family. Yeah, man, it's gonna be an interesting off season. There's gonna be lots of storylines. Vernon. Yeah, my guy Vernon. Vernon's been rocking with us since the beginning. Please go subscribe to his channel. It's just such a great community of content creation. I appreciate the relationships that we have with other content creators. Just talking football, JG Tate over at Auburn Sports. I mean, he's not so much in the YouTube space, but he's dominating, recruiting in other ways. And some of the off relationships we have with other beat writers and people who also support our content.
Jay Ferg, man.
Jay Ferg, Justin Ferguson, man. He's
sure.
the numbers guy, dude. I enjoy the conversations that I have with all these people. We have so many positive relationships with other content creators. It's just
the
amazing.
old man.
Hey,
man.
I saw them at the Iron Bowl. I saw them at the Iron
really?
Bowl in person. Yeah, just on my way up to the press box, and so it's just been an amazing ride and an amazing year to be there. And I feel like in our content community, there's no such thing as a competitor. We're just all producing content. You guys decide what you want to watch and what you don't want to watch. But we're here to say, hey, listen, if you rock with us, we'll have you, right? If this isn't your cup of tea, man, I hope you guys listen to Chase and Zach and some of these other guys who are out here giving you honest content, right? So
For sure.
if there's somebody I forgot to mention, my apologies. Maybe you don't do honest content, but we definitely appreciate our content community. It's been so great, and I've been very thankful for the love and support from everybody.
For sure.
Auburn Dad, we will be here on Wednesdays and Sundays.
Every Wednesday and Sunday.
We
it's
out here
not going
working.
nowhere.
We out here
Saturday's
working
the
hard.
only time that is going to be will pop up every now and then thing. So because we don't have that regular game day stuff, but Sundays and Wednesdays we will be right here.
Hey, can I tell you this? As of January 1st of this year, barring an act of God, we will not have missed a Sunday or a Wednesday for 365 days.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like,
We
except
missed
for the one
we missed
time
one
with
Wednesday.
the tornado.
We missed one Wednesday.
But
The
tornado
We
tornado
had
bad
it, but we
weather.
had it the next day, didn't we?
Yeah, we had it
Right.
that Thursday. Yeah.
True.
We had it. So we have given you the War Room and the Tailgate every week for a year. And facts or no. We have every Friday, you guys have got the facts or no for a year straight. No weeks off. So thinking about that has been kind of crazy. But yeah, we're working hard for you guys.
Yeah,
Lawrence,
man.
You got to tune in Wednesday. We will reveal the score for the picks. Just know I had a horrible weekend. My coin did not do what it was.
Mine
supposed
wasn't
to do.
great either. I wasn't
You
great
got the
either.
one you cared about.
You
the
got
most,
yeah,
so
you got
congratulations.
your one. That's why he led with that. Everything else was trash.
Actually,
Not everything.
I literally have no idea.
No,
I
you
don't
only
remember
you only
who
missed
I
on
picked.
two. You missed on
Me?
two.
I only
No,
missed two.
Mike did. Mike
Yeah.
missed
Okay, I'm about to
two,
say
I think.
I literally have
Oklahoma
no idea
State
who I even
and
picked.
Cincinnati. Yeah, I missed on
Yeah.
Oklahoma State and Cincinnati.
I think me and C are still in lockstep, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many did y'all miss on?
Just
Bama.
one.
Just the SEC championship game?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So I only
So
fell
the
back.
bowl
I don't even-
games.
I don't even know who I picked.
We will be picking bowl games.
Yeah, it's
so
gonna
we're
be
look
so
at the
fun.
full bowl game slate.
Because we
and
get
pick 'em all.
we get 13 of them.
Is that how many we pick?
Actually,
Yeah.
we get 14 of them.
Wait, are we picking group
Oh.
of 5 bowl games?
No, just
championship.
Hawaii
You
Bowl.
can't talk about the
Just
championship
SEC
game.
ones, man.
Just
Oh, I kind
SEC.
of want to pick the New Year's 6.
Man, I don't want to
Oh,
care about them.
I don't know if I
Pick
care
them.
about that.
You
Yeah.
pick what you want to. I'm not picking them.
Yeah,
I'm
I mean,
flipping a coin.
There are enough games that
That's
we
enough
can,
SEC games. There's enough SEC games for us to pick those.
And technically, the SEC cannot finish undefeated in bowl games this year because of Bama and
They're
Georgia
facing each
both
other,
making
right.
the playoff, right? So one team will lose, and it's gonna be a fun bowl season to pick. 14 games to choose from is insanely fun. I can't wait to watch all of that and see. And if they could finish, if we could win 10 out of the 13 or 14, I think that would be a really good bowl season for the SEC.
Yeah, as long as Auburn's one of the W's.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because
Have they named our bowl
man,
yet?
oh yeah, when did bowl selections happen?
It's already been happening.
Today.
It's been rolling out.
Has it?
I
It's
just
supposed
don't
to
know
be
if they
kind of like
picked
an
us yet.
all day kind of like.
A 4-hour presentation. Man, if y'all don't post this up on the internet and let us go, please.
The bowl selection show.
They're holding us hostage.
Are we?
They are milking that. Thank you, ain't they?
Wait. Okay. So, you're right. They are picking them.
They have not released it yet.
Michigan State and Pittsburgh in the
Yeah, they're gonna do the big bowls first, like
right.
because
In
the,
Peach
other
Bowl.
bowls get the leftovers. They
They're gonna announce this at 6:00 tonight.
right.
Notre Dame versus Oklahoma State, Ohio State versus Utah, and Baylor versus Ole Miss.
Oh, that's gonna be cool.
That's be an interesting one.
Dave
Oregon
Aranda
versus
coming
Oklahoma.
back to an SEC.
Oh,
matchup.
listen, they're dropping bowl games, guys. UCLA versus NC State. Kentucky and Iowa are playing in the Camping World Stadium Bowl. What is that?
Iowa and Kentucky. Ooh, that's gonna be a boring.
Oklahoma and Oregon
Yes.
and the Alamo Dome Bowl. Oh man, I think they might have released them all. Wow,
game. Not yet.
this is crazy.
Not yet.
Western Kentucky and App State, Nevada and Western Michigan, Pittsburgh. Okay, yeah, I think you guys are right.
They haven't announced that yet.
Yeah. These might just be. No, wait. This does say official.
I know we're looking at either between the Liberty Bowl and the Birmingham Bowl for Auburn.
Yeah, all the people were suggesting that they were hearing Birmingham for sure for us. They just don't know our opponent.
Oh man, we're not gonna play UCF, guys, are we? That will be a special form of hell for me.
No, that wouldn't be him. That would be magnificent.
No,
Only
I
if
hope.
we beat the brakes off of him is it magnificent. If he somehow go out there and lay an egg against them, man, we ain't never gonna hit the end of that.
Wait,
Yeah.
so what's
I-
the bowl record been like for UCF's coach? After people get a little time to look at what he does, yeah, I'm cool. We're good. Let's do it.
But here's the thing: we're not going to be playing at full strength. Like,
No, we're not even close.
What do you mean? You
a
talking
lot
about
of our
Zacoby?
starters,
No,
yeah, a
no
lot of our
Zacoby.
starters aren't going to play.
Zacoby McCreary. But considering how much our D line has improved this year, I would love that game. Penetration would just ruins a Gus offense, man. That would be wonderful.
I don't want to be. I don't want that. I don't want that for this coach.
Tell me that is the best case scenario for our bowl game anticipation and coverage. It would be lights out. Oh,
Yeah, I
that'd
mean,
be great.
it's great for content, no doubt.
Yeah.
But
UCF. UCF.
I'm looking here trying to see if they,
All right, man, y'all ain't trying to get
We
into
have to win that game. We would have.
we would have to win
that way we
Yeah.
can lay all the you only won 6 games. Gus would have won 8. Well, here you go. There you go.
Nah, they'll just say it's only because Gus didn't have the players. Because it's going to be some kind of excuse if they.
He took
lose,
half the
man.
Auburn players with him, man. How many more excuses you need?
A lot.
Oh man.
Yeah,
UAB
man, wow.
playing BYU. You know what? I meant to say this after I had been kind of pulling for Bill Clark before Gus got fired. Like
I remember.
2018, I started pulling for Bill Clark. And it didn't happen, and he kind of tried to make us look bad when the coaching search was going on. So now I don't like Bill Clark so much. However, I still respect what Bill Clark has done and is doing at UAB. They are in it for their conference every single year. They are competitive. They recruit on par with quite a few people in their conference. But he does it. It's defense and sound offense. Like they gave UTSA hell, man. UTSA was a great team. They gave them hell at UTSA. It took the last play for them to get beat, man. I respect that kind of consistency year in and year out. No matter how much he loses, he's in it.
I'm happy for UAB. Screw Bill Clark.
I agree. We can respect.
People are saying
I don't
that
like
the
Nick
reports are
Saban.
SMU are who we're going to play in the Birmingham Bowl.
Yeah, I'm seeing some interest. Houston, I saw
Houston?
possibly.
That's interesting.
Oh, I would want to play Houston. They get their antenna up. I don't want them to go to sleep.
They just got beat by Cincinnati, right, in the Conference USA.
Was it 35-20?
Yeah, I think
that was the
that would have been an interesting game for real. They went 11-2 this year.
Oh, Houston would be. Ooh,
Man, you went 11-2 and got the Birmingham Bowl. That sucks.
Yeah,
so
that's what I'm
sad for them.
saying. Like,
Hey,
that's,
get out the AAC. That's your fault. Nobody told you to go there.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. It is definitely their fault. All their fault. Choose a better conference.
That's right, Houston. Wait,
you know-
did they get one of the bids to go up?
I don't know.
Like you're muted. I can't hear
aren't
you.
they going to the Big 12?
Are they going? I don't remember.
Yeah, that's what my question was, whether or not they were going to be one of the Big 12 jumps.
I think I remember hearing
I
something.
think they
about
are.
that.
They may. I know they were in talks. I don't know if they were confirmed.
Yeah, man. I just want to know where we're going, who we're playing, because the Birmingham Bowl. Listen, if we get the Birmingham Bowl, we're covering that extensively, obviously
Yeah.
because of proximity. So we'll be at that one, and we'll be here with you guys for that. But other than that, what are the other bowl destinations?
Liberty Bowl.
Liberty.
Where's that?
Is that Memphis?
I
Memphis.
think so.
Yeah,
Yes.
Memphis.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's close enough. I think we could probably make that work too.
yeah, man, this is going to be an interesting bowl season.
Now we cannot lose. I don't care who we play. We cannot lose this bowl game. We are going to play against somebody who does not have the talent to be on the field with us, because we are 6-6. This happened when we played Memphis that year, our 6-6 year in 2015. It happened when we played Purdue in 2018 after that year, which we look bad in certain ways. We're going to line up against somebody who has no business on the field with us. I need for us to show out. I do not need to get embarrassed against a team from the AAC or the Sun Belt or whoever. Please, Auburn, please don't make us look bad.
Man,
Yeah.
I'm just, there are so many good storylines this offseason for us to cover. We got a coaching search 2 years in a row, right? This is OC this time, but we got a coaching search, and And this thing kind of sets up for an interesting spring for Brian Harsin and company. I'll reiterate. I talked to the man, and he looked me in the eye and just wants everybody to believe that he's the guy to do this. He's the guy to turn us around. And year one wasn't what he expected, but man, just go out there and make some serious moves, Coach Harsin, and get us on the right ship, man. Here's a great question. Who calls plays for the bowl game?
Harsin.
I guess that's up to the staff, right?
Who calls plays?
Are you saying because the OC got fired?
It's not going to be the guy they hire.
It's going to be Keesaw or Reader. I say Keesaw probably. And does that suggest something for the pick for the OC job?
No, because they're going to hire the guy well before the
they're
bowl
already
game.
gonna have that. They're already gonna have the OC in place.
Yeah. So
I guess you can have Keesaw calling the plays.
Yeah, if he gets the job, sure.
But if he doesn't, if he doesn't get the job, I mean, Keesaw can still call the plays. He's still gonna be on staff.
He can call the plays. Yeah. I mean, hell, what's his name? Wasn't Harsin hired before our bowl game? But he just hung back and watched everything happen.
Yeah, for sure. Marcus Ricks here, super chatting us. Joe Brady got fired from the Panthers. Yep, Marcus, we have covered this extensively today. I would be elated with this hire. I think if you were going to go out and get a name, I like that name better than some of the other names people have been throwing out randomly, personally.
Oh,
Keesaw. So,
Joe Brady, this is another super chat. Brady for OC. Time will tell. Well, I think first things first. We need to decide what we need to find out what's going on.
Knew
with
somebody was gonna say this. Did not tell you, B. Did I not tell you somebody was gonna say this? I knew it was gonna happen. Y'all out here predicting that a guy who's a 5-star quarterback is gonna have a good game against Georgia. That's a better prediction.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, man. I'm just like, yo, this is nuts. It's funny. We're just kind of chatting with you guys now. SS Austin.
Oh.
And we see Grant Lloyd. We right. I agree. Do we have an update on TJ? And his boot. He was walking in a boot.
That's the last thing that's the last we heard.
And they're gonna start practice not this week because it's finals, but next week. So they got a week. If he be out of that boot in a week, then sure. If not, it's gonna be Lloyd or hopefully DD.
Where's the Birmingham? What day is the Birmingham Bowl?
It's before the end of the year. It's usually like the 28th, 29th, something like that.
Okay, so we got just over 3 weeks. We got about 3.5 weeks till the bowl game.
It's December 28th on a Tuesday.
Yep.
There we go.
It's 11 a.m. game. Wow.
Going to be really interesting. But I will be. I'm glad that we get to see this because what if Harsin calls plays for the bowl game?
I said that's a possibility.
That would be really fun to watch.
That would make the most
that's
sense.
a possibility.
Yeah, That would be really fun to watch. I'm kind of rooting for that. Because if it's not a guy that you already have on staff, which it sounds like the only guy we had on staff that was a candidate was Keesaw. I would like to see our head coach call plays in this one and just see how fun it gets.
Let's just also say if Joe Brady is hired, then we don't win the bet from Jazzy Joe.
Oh yes, that's right.
I'm just looking on the rumor mill, just different sites reporting that Oklahoma is really close to landing Venables.
Yeah.
And they are pushing for Brady, which actually might make more sense.
That makes a lot of sense, actually.
I think they got a better chance in that sense than we do, honestly.
Yeah,
they got a lot of the guys already. All of them haven't left, and they had a lot of talent, offensive talent there.
Venables is a defensive guy, so it would make sense to go out and get a marquee offensive mind to come in and just run. And they've been pass happy over the last few years, so that would make a lot of sense. Do they roll with the guy who took over Williams? Or
Williams, yeah, that's what it said. They're trying to keep him, so they're trying to get an OC that he likes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
God, man, there's so much to talk about. This is really fun. I was talking to Blacker B this morning, and we were just talking about all the exciting storylines that we have going into this offseason to talk about. So this is one of them. Auburn's going to be in the thick of it. Guys, I really want to see Brian Harsin call plays in this bowl game. Just let your hair down and just be a offensive coach for a day. And show us what being multiple means.
Yeah, but it's a lot of his success is going to depend on who's playing quarterback, man.
That's it, man. We've seen it. We've seen Tony Elliott and Clemson put together dynamic offenses year after year after year. You miss on the quarterback one time, and now you look like you don't know what you're doing. That's what it is.
If TJ can't play, the only thing that he can do to ruin this bowl game for me would be to send Loy out there.
I'm not watching it.
I might not even watch it.
I'm not watching it. No.
Even if you gotta go,
but I'm gonna be mad the whole time.
Well, y'all can have it. I'm not going.
Yeah, like let's talk about this. It's the Birmingham Bowl, Ike, because you're a Caesar.
You'll go, but you'll just be looking at someone on your phone.
I'll just be mad the whole time.
Oh man, wow. No, I mean, listen. Obviously, no shade to Loy, but shade to Loy.
So
I love that. I love when we say shade, no shade, but we didn't do
shade,
a whole
yeah.
bunch of shade.
I'm not saying that 'cause
So
I'm
it's
throwing all
official.
shade.
It's Houston.
Houston in the
Houston.
Birmingham Bowl, baby.
Houston, y'all have a problem. All right, let's get it.
Let's
It's
go.
gonna be an interesting
Let's
game.
get
Houston's
it.
Not a scrub team, so
They are not scrubs.
They're not scrubs.
No, they're
Now
not.
I'm going to go back and rewatch that Cincy Houston game to see what I can see.
Oh man, listen, we can do. We'll do. I'll see if I can get some film, and maybe we'll do a Houston watch the film special.
Yeah.
We'll look at Cincinnati versus Houston in the Conference USA Championship. Ike seems intrigued.
That would have been their biggest opponent, so a good gauge of how they will play.
Yeah, I'll pull that film, and we'll do a watch the film
yeah,
special.
I'm down for that.
Right? We'll do a watch the film special. So we might surprise you guys with that. But
I don't want to get embarrassed. Please, don't let us lose to an AAC team. I don't care if they got 10 wins. Man. Just don't
I
do
don't
it.
care either, dude. 11 wins, actually.
11 wins. I don't care.
I don't care. Yeah, you cannot lose that game. We got to win.
Yeah.
But Dylan Brooks. Okay, so Dylan Brooks, we may see. Lee Hunter, we may see. What other redshirt freshmen do we want to see in this one? Who's the most likely that we're going to see?
Joko Willis didn't get a lot of burn this year. I would love to see.
Yeah,
him
if
out there.
McLean's not playing, Joko Willis has an opportunity to get some burn.
Armani Harvey.
I don't know how much he played on special teams.
I doubt. Well, that depends on if Smoke isn't playing. Like if Smoke plays, those guys play.
think
I
Smoke
don't
needs
think
to
we.
play.
I don't
think
think.
Smoke
I
likely
don't
does.
think we see any of those young guys in the secondary. I really
Who's going
don't.
to be the other corner though? If Roger McCreary.
Yeah, McCreary and. Wait, did we have a new corner, a freshman corner that we took in this year?
You're probably going to see.
Yeah, Dawson is the wide receiver, the little quick wide receiver we were hearing
That's what I
about
want to
here,
see
right?
on
Yeah.
offense.
But all our wide receivers should play because we don't have any seniors
have-
that are just locks for the pros, so they kind of got to play.
Yeah.
Landon King is not a red shirt, so he wouldn't count from what this particular
Yeah,
conversation.
he should see some snaps just because he should.
Yeah, I don't know. Be interesting. AD Diamond is the one everybody was trying to think of for the
Okay.
quarterback, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm. This is going to be again. It's too many storylines to count here, but it could set up for a really exciting offseason if some of these redshirt freshmen get some burn in this game, and then it makes the position battles even that more intense going into the spring. Right. So what are they going to do after the bowl game? Everybody's going to hit the weight room hard as hell. Right, to trying to gain any edge they can on the people who they're competing with for the start. Every extra rep, and then going into spring practice, in early March, I think it starts. Just be real. Is Garner enrolling early? Do we know that?
I think.
I thought all of them were, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think he's enrolling this December.
I think so.
So for that young man as well too, I don't expect him to have a chance to see the field next year based on what I've seen from the staff. But getting into Harsin's system and learning how he likes things done is important. It definitely gives you an edge over the people that may be competing that have less experience in the system. So it is no matter what the system is, it's always an advantage to enroll early. But he gets a quality opponent, and if they go out there and they crush Houston, and I want to see some new heroes emerge in this game. I really do. Maybe some guys, some familiar names, but some new heroes in terms of who is our go-to guy. Like, it would be nice to see Xavion Capers go out there and just have like 100-yard receiving game,
man.
right? Malcolm Johnson, I've been clamoring for him all year. It would just be really nice to see them spread the love to some of the other receivers in this one.
Yeah.
Right. And I know for some of the seniors, it's their last chance to make a mark before they go pro, right? Robertson he's done, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Robertson's done.
He's going to the Senior Bowl or to the Hula Bowl or something like that. But yeah.
What about Shedrick? He doesn't have a COVID year left, does he?
I mean, he does if he wants to use it.
He does.
So yeah, I want to see some new guys get out there and do some stuff. I'll be interested to see if Harsin and co force the issue. Maybe for your new offensive coordinator as well, to get some tape on some of these guys in game action for him to evaluate. Again, going into the spring, how much of this do they use to evaluate? I wish we had another press conference. I mean, we'll get one pre-bowl game, but I just want to know, like, hey, man, how much of this are you going to use to help set your team up for 2022? Right? It'll be interesting. You got a quality opponent. Per our standards, I think we got a quality opponent.
Right.
Now, they don't have to travel far, so preparation should be top-notch. Because you don't have all the logistics of taking a team 4 states away for a game. Right up the road.
Right.
Bus. They'll be on a bus.
Yeah.
Right? Or driving their car. So, interesting to see.
Well, go ahead and take us out, Mike G. What do
let's-
people need to become, man?
Listen, enjoy the conversation with you guys. Let's keep the conversation going, guys. Become an insider. Join our content community. $5.99 for an insider. $3.99 for a supporter. Cannot stress enough. This isn't about sharing inside information or guess what we know. You guys know we've never claimed to have sources, but we do talk to people, and it helps us bring you the most quality content that we can. Your monthly support helps us continue to grow as we start to bring you even more content. So you've seen us posting highlight reels, press conferences. I mean, we're just bringing you a lot of information and a lot of access. So it's not always us. You get to hear it straight from the horse's mouth. Your donations and your monthly commitments help us be able to grow that part of our content so that you can get even more Auburn all the time, 7 days a week. Thanks to everybody who's going to go do that. Support the Lee County Humane Society. You can find this link in the About section of our YouTube channel. 50 cents on every dollar we collect goes to the Lee County Humane Society to help them #save all the puppies. Congratulations to our raffle winner. If you didn't win, you can just go buy a AU t-shirt. This is a great way to support our content. Hit our merch store, www.thewarreport.com, or if you don't want to type all that out, this link is also in the About section of our YouTube channel. Check us out on podcast. We're everywhere, people. Apple, Spotify, Podbean, SoundCloud. We're on all of it. So if you go over there, leave a review, drop us 5 stars, let those platforms know that you guys love the War Report. Shout out to our weekend's tailgate sponsor, University Ace Hardware. You can find them at 2101 East University Drive, Auburn, Alabama. They have been a phenomenal sponsor for us this season. So we appreciate University Ace Hardware and them sponsoring the War Report. Check out BUSR.com. This is our betting partner, BUSR.com/rapport for all your betting information and needs. Support us by supporting our sponsors. That's BUSR.
Also, too, I mentioned it earlier in the beginning of the show, but I'm mentioning it now again. Please be sure to share this video if you're watching live or on replay. Share it on social media so people can help find our content and help grow this community. And before you get out of here, man, be sure to like the video. Get those likes up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You can find us on social media, IG and Twitter at The War Report. You can also find us on TikTok at TW Report. That's it for now, guys.
Wait. We got one more. Did you guys see this?
No.
I'd love to see us do a coaches tournament bracket of the current coaches in the SEC based on in-game coaching and adjustments. At this point, you guys are just making up the content for us.
Yes, thank you.
Interesting. Yeah, definitely we'll take that under consideration. Reggie, thank you so much.
Well, since my boy Kirby, crapped the bed and Jimbo lost those 4 games I said he would lose before the season started, I am ready to make that coach's ranking list. Maybe not on in-game adjustments, but Mike G. He thought Jimbo was gonna have that fire. He got his one big win, and then was regular. So it was a good year.
Okay, all right. We can talk about it. We'll talk about it on the list. I'll see you on the list.
I'm curious to see if this domino falls with Mario Cristobal too going to Miami and what that means for us and some guys we're after, particularly a receiver up in Oregon. So
Darius Clemens.
That.
let's see how that pans out. But guys, enjoy the rest of your weekend and be sure to tune in with us as we meet up again on Wednesday for the Wednesday Night War Room. Guys, have a great rest of your day. And as always, War Eagle.
War Eagle.